Hey everybody, Chris here. In this video, I'm going to be giving you my August price prediction for Dogecoin. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when new videos come out as well as when I do live streams. And we start here with the current price of Dogecoin here on Friday, July 31st at 6.95 cents. That's right, 6.95 cent Doge. Last night, Doge did drop below the 7-cent line. And as we zoom out, we do see that Dogecoin has been trading over the past few days with a solid resistance line at 7.1 cents. And we've had lower lows, meaning we've got a broadening wedge here on the downside. This is a very bearish pattern here. Again, it's a short time frame, but we do have Doge going down here just below 7 cents. And Bitcoin fell back below 64,000. Bitcoin's is a little bit different. Bitcoin is actually seeing higher lows and higher highs, and looks like it may be starting to form another one of these little bull trap formations here. A little relief rally happening for Bitcoin, but I think Bitcoin's just going to kind of fade out sideways here with a little more downside pressure. That's where I see Bitcoin going. But we begin looking back on July, and Chris predicted Dogecoin would be in the 7s in July. I thought it would be in the like mid to upper 7s. And right now we have the weakness down into the upper 6s. So a bit of a miss here for Chris for the month of July. I was predicting green. We'll look at the monthly returns in just a minute. And instead, we're going to be a little bit on the red side instead. Dogecoin opened July near 7.2 cents, and it's trading like 6.99 right now, 6.95 just below. The monthly decline around 3%. The monthly peak was 7.9. That was back around July 4th. We saw that 7.9 cent Dogecoin, almost 8 cents. Didn't quite make it though. So the July price action can best be described as consolidation under bearish pressure. Again, consolidation under bearish pressure. Sellers remained active throughout the month. Buyers repeatedly defended the areas, the dips to 6.8, 6.9. Buyers came in, and we were watching that, and we covered that on this channel here, how that kept Dogecoin buoyed up in its price. Defense prevented a deeper decline. It also created double bottom structure near the lower end of the range. So volatility has declined. Lower volatility shows neither buyers nor sellers gained enough control to force a decisive move. So that is looking back. Now, what can we look at forward? Well, for the past few days, we've had this chop. As Altcoin Sherpa says, good morning, guys. Still a very choppy market. Stay safe out there. And of course, when we have this chop, you know who likes it, right? It's the market makers. And of course, the exchanges who are liquidating both the shorts and the longs, because that's how the markets move. We do have a bit of bad news to cover here. $38 million drained from 500 secure cold card wallets in 25 minutes. So this is Bitcoin. Now, I don't know what a cold card wallet is. I don't know how old these things are. But this may give a little bit of what he's calling a dry run of what quantum can do. Somehow, these a firmware flaw from 2021 made the keys predictable. So hackers got in and drained $38 million of Bitcoin. So that could have led to a decline in Bitcoin's price overnight, because this just happened. And that quantum thing is out there in the long term, and there's these BIPs and other things that are being proposed to try and deal with this. And CZ's talking about freezing, old standing Bitcoin wallets or something like that to help Bitcoin. We'll see how all of that plays out. Again, it's a much longer term, but this is something that just happened. And again, be sure you're subscribed to the Chris Pax channel, because I keep you up to date on the news that's going on across crypto. Focus on Dogecoin, but here is the price coming down for Bitcoin from 64.5 essentially to 63.5 here. in the matter of a couple hours. So that was that was a big drop. Overall, Bitcoin is down 50% from its high that we had back in early October 2025. Compared to other years, other cycles, Bitcoin's not doing so bad. The bear market, 49% deep. Every prior one bottomed far below that. By depth, it is the mildest on record. This is according to Glassnode. By depth, it is the mildest on record so far. By the clock, it isn't finished yet. Prior bear markets ran about 1/3 longer before reaching the low. So, if you look at the history, the 4-year history, and you see the further capitulation that happened in Bitcoin, all of the 3 prior cycles, we would expect Bitcoin this cycle to do something similar and drop lower. So maybe it only goes 60% down, which would be, again, looking at the law of diminishing returns, also has the law of diminishing losses, cycle after cycle after cycle. So we won't see such great capitulation, but we will see how this plays out. But that is a little bit of the history. But despite all the bearishness, Dogecoin is still the number 10 cryptocurrency. And I bring this up all the time because people, Doge is dead. And I'm just like, it's still the 10th largest cryptocurrency. And it's actually gaining on Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid is down 6% over the past week. And Dogecoin is actually in the green over the past week. So this is getting close here in terms of market cap and in terms of Dogecoin versus Hyperliquid. And we could see Dogecoin come back up into the 9th position if Hyperliquid continues to show weakness after all the strength it had in the spring where it passed over Dogecoin. So that's a thing we'll continue to watch going forward. Bitcoin. Yes, the Bitcoin bounce is real. It's also been rejected 3 times. 66 to 67 has capped every push since June. So as we look at this, pattern, which is kind of like a Wyckoff kind of thing, but we do see in August potential price lower in August. And that would go into September, maybe even October, depending on how long you want to think this is before Bitcoin turns around and recovers and we start back into a bullish pattern. So that is indeed a pattern that I think Bitcoin is going to follow here. August is still the summertime. It's still weak. We still have low volatility volume in terms of trading, but the volatility can still come and we could still see weakness and pullback for Bitcoin. And Crypto Rover says all the BTC whales are looking to buy between 58 and 47. They're not going to get all of this, but there certainly is enough weakness where we could see the price down and we can see the whales scooping up. And maybe 57.4 was the bottom that we already had on June 30th. That's kind of what I believe still. And I think Bitcoin is just going to kind of fade around more sideways than going down. Bitcoin returns actually up 9% for the month of July for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin ended up in a green. Ethereum ended up in a green, but Dogecoin slightly red is how July ended up. In August has seen 4 consecutive years of red. The last green was bull market 2021. And before that, we had bull market 2017. And we had bull market 2013, all greens. And we had one 2020, which was a turnaround before going red in September, where I think it's going to be more like the last 3 years where we have a red August and a green September is what I think we're going to see. First part of September being a low and then end of September turning back around. So if we look back at the 4-year cycles for the bear market years, which are the midterm U.S. elections, which we have one coming this year in November in the United States, we see down 13% for Bitcoin. In 2018, down 9%. In 2014, down 17%. So let's say Bitcoin goes down 10%. And we go to Bitcoin and we say, okay, Bitcoin's going to go down 10%. What does that look like? So that we see some numbers, right? And what would a 10% decline in Bitcoin look like? So if we see 10% and we go down, where is 10%? 10% means Bitcoin is back down in the 57s. So that's kind of where I think Bitcoin could end up here, is back in the 57s and testing the same low that we had back here on June 30th, 57,495. So I think we'll be in that range. If we look at Dogecoin and we say, okay, if Dogecoin goes down 10% from here, where does that put Doge? And we go down 10% and we're right in the middle of this yellow box, which would be a little bit below 6.5 cents, about 6.3, 6.2, something like that. This has been the target that I've had for Dogecoin since early spring. 6.7 cents is more toward the top of this box. And as we go deeper into the box, we go a little bit lower in the sixes. So that is an outlook we could be looking at for Dogecoin in a bearish scenario. Here's the Dogecoin returns again, down 3.5% now as Dogecoin is down to 6.95 cents. So 3.5% down. And we see for Dogecoin, we actually were green last summer, up 27. Dogecoin was starting its reversal where July, August, and September were actually up. And we were up the first week of October until October 10th. And then everything turned around there. So Dogecoin was actually bullish there, July, August, September. But again, that was the bull market year. We go back to 2022 and we see Dogecoin was down 10%. So 2019 down 12% and 2015 down 30%. So we look at those and we're just like, yeah, August not looking so great. So that's something we'll look at. Now, point of reference, we can look at CoinCodex, and CoinCodex is looking forward to some more positive moves for Dogecoin, coming back out of the sixes into the sevens, and by August 4th, we could be at 7.12, break that 7.1 resistance line, and then go higher from there. But still bearish, still below the 50-day and 200-day moving averages. So again, that is very bearish, and we see all of the indicators are sells right now. Not saying that nothing is looking like a buy in terms of the moving averages. It's all sell. So still a very bearish trend. And we look at Changely, and Changely looks like a bit sideways here going into August. We're already down to 695, so we're already lower than what Changely was looking at. Looking at a little run up into the upper sevens and then a fall back down to like 6.7 cents here around August 9th. So I don't see this kind of run coming where we're going to see something back up into the upper sevens unless there's some big news that comes specifically for Dogecoin to get Doge to go up there. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. And again, the technical overview is very bearish. Again, 93% bears, and of course all the moving averages we are below again. So yeah, so that's the outlook right now we have for Dogecoin. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about Dogecoin for August? Again, Chris is still bearish. We're still bear market. We're still overall looking at, where is this bottom going to be? And right now, this 7.1 cent resistance line, that echoes this like quadruple bottom that we had here throughout July, which was support. And then that support got broken here on the 23rd of July. We had one little run back up to like 7.35, one dip to 7.1, then fell below it. And now that 7.1 line has turned from support to resistance. Kind of interesting looking at it from a charting point of view that that's what we have. This has been the bear market bottom so far right here, which is 6.82 cents right there. That happened on the 24th of July. And of course, we go back to the daily chart and we look at Chris's overall view, looking back to my fib line where the 1618 fib line on retracement points to 6.7 cents, which is the top of the yellow box. So all of that could play out in August. Make sure you're subscribed, you got your notifications on. I'm live right now doing Mondays and Wednesdays every week here. On Fridays, I'm traveling. We're kind of traveling around Florida, being little tourists, having a little fun. Follow me over on X, where not only do I post my thoughts on what's going on in crypto, but I also show a little bit of my personal life here, so you can follow me and keep up to date on things that are going on. I'm at Chris Pax over here on X, and we're having fun. We're having fun traveling around. So let me know. Always give the video a like, and again, if you haven't already subscribed, please do. Appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.